Hi, peace and love, y'all. It's Imara Ifauyi here on Our Mother's Way channel. I'm coming to you from St. Croix, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay, and today I wanted to talk about a number of things, just discussing alternatives. I mean, basically, right now we're in a situation where many of us who are awake and aware are needing to try to figure out and strategize ways to kind of remove ourselves from these incoming kind of artificial based system that they're trying to put in place. And it's important that we play with the thought and the idea of different alternatives. I think, as most of you know, there has been a purposefully created economic crash that is impacting a lot of us. Some of us are doing better, some of us are doing worse. Either way it goes, it's a state and a time of a lot of unknowns for a lot of people, particularly people who are entrepreneurs, who have businesses that aren't like internet-based businesses. You know, it's impactful for everyone. And just it's impactful for people who have businesses in general, because now people are not spending in general, even on the internet, unless it's for things that they consider necessities. You know, so it's impactful for everyone. And so I have been playing with and trying to figure out different things that could be done to prepare me and my family for, this changing world we're in. I mean, one of those things, we've been doing a lot of planting, a lot of gardening here on the island, and just kind of preparing ourselves for what may come down the line in terms of any potential food shortage or anything like that. Because I think many of you must know by now that this is a very, very real situation that we may face in the future as they go forward with implementing their plans and, playing games with all of these fake sick illnesses and all these things that they're playing around with to try to get everyone under their control. So something that came back on the radar for me that I hadn't been dealing with for a couple of years now was cryptocurrency. Now, in many ways, I know a lot of people get real biblical about the times we're in and everything, and they consider just the idea of having and needing to move away from anything digital, anything electronic, and really just going back to a more wholesome lifestyle, and a more not wholesome, but just a more kind of non-technocratic, non-tech ran lifestyle. Excuse me. But I'm not sure what the answer is, to be honest with you. I know that at one time I was dealing with cryptocurrency and I had invested quite heavily in it and made a good return on my investment. And it's coming back on the radar now. It kind of had went through a lot of ups and downs, and I remember my energy moved away from it. But I'm finding myself drawn back in that direction right now. So for those of you that are really familiar with cryptocurrency, I'm not the one to give no real major technological breakdown, but I will say that there are all these currencies that are being kind of traded on what they call the blockchain. And they're currencies, if you think about, the US dollar, the euro, pound, British pounds, and all these different currencies. Well, these are electronic currencies. So they are backed, unlike the US dollar, which is a fiat currency that is really backed by air. They are backed by things like certain technologies. So, for instance, one that I'm familiar with that I used to purchase a lot is called XRP, Ripple. And from what my memory serves me, Ripple is backed by this particular technology that banks are using to do really, really fast transfers. So it's different technologies that are backing these currencies. And so you invest into, the currency under the understanding that this is a technology that you would like to see. Some of them are more about privacy. There's one called Monero, that's really kind of dedicated to creating this private currency that, you can't necessarily just go in and see the ledger for online, but that there's a lot of privacy around it. All of this stuff is really complicated, and you have to do a good bit of research to get involved in cryptocurrency. And I'm certainly no expert, but I do have a lot of background of going in and trading and being on the blockchain and being able to see what's happening and different ways to utilize, different ways to make money with these currencies. And I'm very basic with it. I know that for those of you that are interested, it's important that you take the first step, which is to get you some kind of what they call a wallet. Okay, and there's different levels to the wallets. Most people who are just getting started, they'll start off with Coinbase. That's the go-to website for newbies inside of cryptocurrency. Good day. So basically, you would get yourself a wallet on there. You open an account with them. It's quite easy. You verify it, and then you'll go ahead and begin to purchase crypto. Okay, I'm talking currencies. Begin to purchase currencies on there. So they offer Bitcoin. They offer XRP. I'm on the phone. They offer XRP. Excuse me. Woo. They offer Ethereum, which is a really, really popular one, a very fast-moving kind of currency of trade. So that's one where you would, when you're trying to move monies around and trade in different places and maneuver, you would use Ethereum for that kind of maneuvering. It's kind of hard to explain, but Ethereum is one you're going to want to have. It's a cryptocurrency you'll want to have. So basically, you open your Coinbase account, and you just begin to purchase whatever you feel. You learn how to look on www.coinmarketcap.com, and there are other websites like it. But, it kind of shows you the charting of all of the different hundreds of cryptocurrencies, shows you what everything's doing. That's particularly relevant for people who are getting into kind of a day trading. I used to kind of try to move in that direction. I can't say I understood everything all the way, but that day trading of crypto, which it's so volatile, it's kind of hard to keep up with all of that, and it will consume a lot of your energy. But for those who just want to purchase, they want to invest in certain technologies, they want to invest in certain currencies and just leave them there and see what they do. You can go on Coinbase and you can do that with a lot of them. They have a lot of currencies that they're selling on there, cryptocurrencies. And then as you get to kind of understand and want to expand more, you might, even though Coinbase is offering a lot that they sell these days, there are other websites, Binance.com, Chinese-owned website, and a lot of other websites where you can go and have what they call wallets inside of those websites for different currencies. Okay, so it's kind of a lot to take in. But what I would say is, if you want to get started, take that first step. Open your Coinbase account. I'm going to put a link below. You can open the Coinbase account at my link. It's very easy. If you have any questions, if I can support you at all on getting started, I'm not no like consultant or anything like that, but I can help with just basic getting started. You can hit me on my email, Imara Ifawuyi, IMARA IFAWUYI @gmail.com. But anyway, that's my little spiel about cryptocurrency. And the reason why I brought it up is, it's digital, it's more technocracy and more of this kind of energy. But at the end of the day, right now, I'm not going to say we're grasping for straws, but I think we have to diversify our efforts, So a lot of our efforts need to be going towards being sustainable. Also, a lot of us need to figure out where we need to be. Even with my situation, I'm living in the Caribbean right now. It's all lovely, except yes, I am in an American territory. And the reality is something is transitioning and happening, particularly with the United States, that doesn't look good. And it doesn't really seem like a great long-term option. And yet at the same time, they have pretty much closed most borders around the world. Not to mention, you can't even, like right now, I need to renew my children's passport. Mine is fine. And I can't even do that because they have everything shut down with no comment on when it might open up again in terms of the passport office and stuff like that. So it's just so many unknowns right now. But one thing is for sure, diversifying, getting into some different things you may have never thought of, preparing yourself for the possibility of the currency that we're used to using just completely tanking. Because the way they playing games with it and giving out checks and doing all these different things, come on, like I don't know, it just seems like it can't hold. So we need to be preparing ourselves, y'all. Okay, so think about getting sustainable, Think about diversifying your portfolio, whatever you want to call it, financially. And think about investing in silver, things like that. A lot of people are dealing with silver these days. Just different things. Diversify, because you don't want to be out here and when things go down, you just sitting here and you completely invested in a system that no longer exists. Because believe me when I tell you, we're in transition right now. We're transitioning out of something. And the thing that we're transitioning out of, there will only be like remnants of it left when the transition is completed. And they are using fear and they're using manipulation per usual and false flag operations and everything else to try to get us on board with this, very manipulated and forced transition. Okay, and to get us on board, and they are providing us with fake information, fake news, fake statistics to try to get everybody's mind thinking that they need something that they don't, thinking that there's a danger impending that may or may not be. And that's where the psychological aspect of the thing comes in, because you're always wondering, even if you're an intuitive person, you get those moments where you're like, what if there is, or what if they do send something like this out, or what if, what if I'm off, or, so it's just a lot of playing with people's minds, creating confusion, inciting dissension between people. I mean, I walk into the stores here where I live, people think it's still gray. Oh, well, at least you're in the Caribbean. But yeah, but these people watch TV, they watch the news, they're manipulated too. You walk into the store, if your mask isn't all up on your face, people are yelling at you, shouting, oh, where's your mask? So you got regular people policing each other now. So what's that going to look like? As we go further, as manipulation gets deeper, how much more levels of policing and snitching and contact tracing are going to be taking place where people are just literally ratting on each other. So there's a lot of things to take in and to tap into. I was watching a brother's video. I like him. He's some kind of Hebrew Israelite guy. What is his name? He's a brother who talks about targeted individuals a lot, uses a lot of scripture or whatever. But I like him because he'll debunk, or he'll go in and give the truth of what is going on without all the drama. Because sometimes we hear about things like we hear about that HR 6, quadruple 6 bill that went in on the floor. That, from what I know, is just a bill. It hasn't been passed into law, but everybody jumped on that, and we started saying, okay, this law has been put in place, and boo, 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 and we just run with things without researching. So I like to try to be as precise as I can and not get emotional about things. We know there's a lot of nefarious, weird plots and plans that have been kind of put together that are not pro the people, but we also need to try to, really look at things for where they are right now. Reality is expanding. We're moving into other dimensions, so you can't pin anything down really, but just trying to be as on point as we can with the information that we're gathering, trying not to move and think and operate from fear and allow them to put fear in us. A lot of what is taking place is to operate and work on the psyche, on the psychological situation. It's trying to manipulate. It's not yes, these things could happen in the bigger scheme of things. Yeah, it could all happen. But what is the most powerful thing that they have is the fact that just the question of whether it could happen, and the power that has on the minds of people, and how much that weighs down and bears down on people, and it makes them compliant. So I don't want to get too deep into things, because I could really go in on it, but I keep the video short. Yeah, so y'all get up on your thing. I'm going to put my link below for crypto, for the Coinbase. Okay. And I just highly suggest that, you start thinking about different things you can do right now. Okay. Many blessings. Y'all stay safe out there. Take care of yourself. Boost your immune systems. Just to be strong out here. I know I just had a big health scare, so I'm in a major rebuilding of my own, life force. And I give thanks. It's a time to start over, try to build on a better foundation. Yeah, man. You guys be blessed. Peace and love.